Hello, this is Bill Meridian speaking to you May 27th, 2025 from New York. This brief analysis describes three Uranian transits 2024 to 2027. One of them is already completed, but I think it's still in the air. That is why I am going to review it. I still have a website, billmeridian.com, with all of the books and publications, but I also have a new one, billmeridianastrology.com, which explains other services. So check them out. There are three Uranian transits that are having a great effect on the world and especially on America. Pluto squared the USA Hades, Pluto 180 degrees to Vulcanus, that's by transit to transit. And then in September, Uranus will transit over the USA Apollon, and I can't wait for that one. That's an exciting one. So first of all, Pluto was square to the USA Hades three times in 2024, from February to December. Hades is the lower part of the nature. Hades is the part of yourself that you don't want to see. And of course, Pluto brings things up from deep inside. So this is great if you are an individual person and you're going to a therapist or to some help or a counselor and you want to get out all of this negativity or want to work through the negative side of yourself. So what did we see? We saw the release of the JFK files. The secrets of the last administration are being revealed, and the Jeffrey Epstein secrets. I don't know if they've all come out yet. And just today, Dan Bongino has announced that they are going to look into unsolved mysteries like cocaine in the White House. So that one is over with, but the aftertaste is still with us. So let's move on to Pluto 180 degrees to Vulcanus. Now, in standard astrology, Pluto is power. But in the Hamburg school, Vulcanus is power, and Pluto is more representative of change. So putting the two together, this could be a very profound change in power, who wields the power. From the Book of Rules, it says mighty changes or transformations that occur with great speed. Unhealthy rush development, quick transformations that are too swift. I don't know how fast they are. Pluto tends to be spasmodic and it occurs over a period of time. And here are the dates. The first one was March 22nd, 2025. There are 7. The last one is December 29th, 2027. So this will be in effect for a while. And as you can see, it starts at 3 Aquarius 24 to 3 Leo 24 and ends up at 5 Aquarius 53 to 5 Leo 53. So we've got a while to go, but those degrees, 3, 4, 5 fixed, will get a good Pluto Vulcanus energizing. Now, what happened the last time Vulcanus was in Leo? That was in 1356. And on January 10th, 1356, the Golden Bull was announced. Now, let me explain that there was the remnants of the Roman Empire, and different historians have different descriptions. Power was being used indiscriminately, and according to one historian, the Pope stepped in. According to another historian, it was the Holy Roman Empire that stepped in, or both. And they set down laws and rules that restrain power. Well, look at Vulcanus, 29 Cancer, 57, only 3 minutes from Leo, and they called it the Golden Bull. Now, curiously enough, the new Pope chose the name Leo. And the Pope was supposedly, according to one historian, involved with the Golden Bull. But here we have a new Pope, and what does he pick? He picks the name Leo, and we find Vulcanus back in Leo again. And the Holy Roman Empire wished to bring order and to end power conflicts. And here's the text of the Golden Bull. We have promulgated, decreed, and recommended for ratification the subjoined laws for the purpose of cherishing unity among the electors and of bringing about a unanimous election and of closing all approach to the aforesaid detestable discord and to the various dangers which arise from it. So, 2025, power clashes in the U.S. We have rogue judges. We have regional judges that are issuing national injunctions. So this is telling us what's going on right now. Let's roll it forward a bit. Here's the opposition, and there's the USA horoscope. The opposition on this side of the 90-degree dial is it from 3 to 7 fixed. So right here, that pointer, that is where the opposition is currently. Of course, any planets on this side of the 90-degree dial have to be conjunct, opposite, or square. And so in this case, they're opposite. And look at this. It's 45 and 135 to the USA natal Vulcanus. And the progressed sun is right in here at 2026 Pisces. So that's going to catch it too. And the progressed sun is heading right toward Mars Neptune, as is this whole opposition. So, number one, is the power struggle in the United States over? No, probably not until 2027. As we go later, it's going to get more Mars Neptune-y, as you can see, because the progressed sun is going to move up there. The opposition is going to move up there. So it's probably going to get pretty sneaky, a lot of deception before this is all resolved. So no resolution until about 2027. And the end of it will be going through the Mars-Neptune swamp, so to speak. So let's move on to Uranus, which is coming up to be conjunct the USA Apollon, which I'm really looking forward to. The first conjunction, if we move down here to the bottom three, because I've got all of them up here since the foundation of the country, Uranus is conjunct Apollon September 1, 2025, September 10, 2025, which must mean there's a Uranus station, which will be really potent, and the last one, May 21, 2026. Also, Uranus was conjunct the USA natal Apollon 1858 to 1859, 1942 to 1943. So can we get any clues as to what to expect by looking at these past periods? Now, let me explain before we proceed. From my old friend Diana Rosenberg of New York, she pointed out that when men landed on the moon July 20th, 1969, most astrologers will tell you there was a Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. But that happens every 13 or 14 years. Do men land on the moon, or do we have a scientific achievement like that with that degree of regularity? No. There was something else going on. It was a Jupiter Apollon Uranus conjunction at 0 Libra. Now, 0 of the world points means everybody knows about it, and certainly everybody saw the men walk on the moon, trine the USA Apollon, which is at 1 Gemini 27. So that's the type of thing that can be expected. And Apollon is expansion. Apollon, whereas Jupiter is big, Apollon is many. It means it reaches out and touches everybody like sunlight. So it has a very, very widespread effect. So that is a pass. Now that's a 3-planet conjunction at the world point, trine the USA Gemini. And you can see in the Sibley chart, Apollon is trine the midheaven from Gemini to Libra. So let's just keep that in mind and go forward. July 1858, the 49ers stream into the Rocky Mountains of the western United States during the Pikes Peak Gold Rush. That was Uranus conjunct Apollon in that time period. 1942 to 43, of course, World War II was on. And on January 1, 1943, the Atomic Bomb Center opens. That's where they began construction of the atomic bomb that ended the war. But also, there was very furious aircraft carrier construction. And in 1942, June 4th, USA wins the Battle of Midway. Now, most of you probably are not familiar with military history, but it was an absolutely crushing defeat for the Japanese Imperial Navy. Of the, I think it was 5 or 6 carriers went into that battle, 3 were sunk by the US, and that was the end of Japanese power in the Pacific. The Americans had realized that the aircraft carrier would dominate naval warfare, and so they had the biggest fleet, and the Japanese were copying them. So I think you could look at Apollon that way, as you're flying out and striking someone who's far away, completely changed naval warfare. And as for 1858, Apollon and Uranus rule money in circulation. So at that time, in 1858, money was gold. And if you put it into a bank, they gave you a paper certificate. Today, we just have paper certificates. If we all go to the bank, it's bankrupt. So that had something to do, I think, with increasing the money supply of the United States. So let's go forward now and look at, here is Apollon on a 90-degree dial natally, and it comes very close to Poseidon, which would be a great expansion in consciousness. And also, here is Pluto, and here is Jupiter and Zeus. Now, Zeus has to do with industrial production, with directed energy, like deciding you're going to do something and doing it. People who have good good Zeus are very good managers. And it's a lot to do with any locomotion that carries you around the earth. Skateboards, roller skates, cars, trains. It has to do with warfare, with explosions. Jupiter and Zeus are square in the US, which explain the entrepreneurial spirit and also the great overproduction that we have here, and also the tremendous destructive weapons. The United States is actually the biggest vendor of arms in the world. So Pluto, Jupiter, Zeus, some change in that. And Uranus, Apollon, a very sudden, surprising change. It's very widespread, some increase in consciousness. And we also have here what? Sun, Chiron, and Juno. Now, when I see Chiron, he was the healer. I'm thinking of RFK Jr. and his efforts to improve American health. So I think all these things will all play a part in what is coming up. We don't have long to wait, and the most powerful hit will be right in September, because there will be a station of Uranus. And by the way, Uranus Apollon is science of the future, and it is the formula for astrology. So will we have another Nancy Reagan moment? In case you don't know what I'm talking about, Nancy Reagan was using astrology to advise her husband, and this was great publicity for astrology way back in the day. So if you're planning some astrological event, a book, planning to do something like this, is a great time to do it. Would be September, because Uranus Apollon will be very energized, and of course the Apollon natally is in Gemini, communications, books. So perhaps astrology will get some very good press. Let's hope so. And Poseidon, it leads to enlightenment. A light bulb goes off in everyone's head. So in 2025, right now, as I am talking to you, these are the transits. And there's transiting Jupiter, there's transiting Apollon, and they're transiting Jupiter, transiting Apollon, and that midpoint equals Apollon. So right now, what's in the works that we might expect to develop into something very big? And I think Zeus, as I mentioned, is any way we get around the planet. Robotic taxis, cars with no drivers, a great expansion in AI. So in 2025, we can expect an advance in science that brings great prestige, that's the trine to the midheaven, increases efficiency, increases military power, that's the effect of the sixth house, creates wealth, concentrates power and wealth to a group, because Admetus is in there. I didn't point it out, but that's a small group. So I think it's a 2025 Eneo and crypto expansion. And of course, with Uranus, you always have to expect the unexpected. So who knows what will actually happen? So I'm excited about September, because Apollon is my favorite planet. And my book, Mastering Geopolitical Prediction, and there's the old Predictive Power of Eclipse Paths. And I mentioned the one new website. Now we'll be speaking June 17th, 2025, to the Uranian Kepler group, and the lecture subject will be Apollon. So I hope to see you there. And of course, we have in search the old Charles Jane journal reprinted. Oh, it's been my pleasure. Speak to you again soon. Bill Meridian over and out for today.